Hi everyone, this is Cooking with Kurt. Today my husband Donald and I are going to show you how to make traditional Hyderabadi chicken biryani. I spent many of my childhood years in Hyderabad, India, and this is one of my favorite dishes. We'd have it on Saturdays for lunch.
Oh, and it's become one of my favorites too. I believe this dish is how you first introduced me to Indian food. So good.
This recipe was requested by Rowena Altea. Thank you so much, Rowena, for your request. We hope you like this video. To start, we're going to marinate the chicken. Take a small skillet and over medium heat, add in 2 tablespoons of butter and let it melt. When it has melted, add in 3 bay leaves, 1 cinnamon stick, 5 pods of cardamom, 5 cloves, and 1/4 teaspoon of peppercorns, or about 20 balls. Saute the spices in the butter until they become aromatic, about 1 minute. Turn off the heat and set this aside. Then take a non-reactive bowl like glass or stainless steel. Add in about 2 to 2.5 pounds of chicken pieces. We prefer chicken thighs. Half a cup of yogurt. 4 teaspoons of salt. 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, 3 teaspoons of yellow turmeric powder, 1 small green chili minced, and 3 teaspoons of meat masala or chicken masala powder. You can get this kind of meat masala powder at most Indian stores. It's also called Garam masala, but make sure you get South Indian Garam masala. The ingredients list should include cardamom, cloves, and fennel seeds. We've listed the ingredients of this meat masala powder in the description section below to help you identify the right one in the store. Now, add in the butter with sauteed spices to the meat and mix all of this together by hand till everything is well incorporated and sort of rubbing and massaging all of the spices into the chicken pieces. Then cover with plastic wrap. If you're preparing your biryani the same day, let your meat marinate at room temperature for 1 hour. But for the best flavor, we recommend marinating it overnight in the fridge. If you marinated it overnight, take it out of the fridge and let it come to room temperature.
The next step is to prepare the rice mixture. Fill a big pot about 2/3 of the way up with water and turn on to medium heat. The water will be in excess, which we will strain out later. Add in 4 cups of basmati rice, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, 2 pods worth of crushed cardamom seeds, 5 cloves, and 1 small green chili that's been cut lengthwise. Gently mix it in.
The trick here is to let the rice only cook halfway.
Right, which will happen faster than you expect, sometimes even before the rice reaches a clear boil. So checking often, like every 2 minutes, take a grain of rice to check its texture. You want it so that it's still a bit translucent, a little bit softer than raw rice grains, but still have a very firm al dente texture and still have a bit of crunch to it. When the rice reaches this texture, turn off the heat and strain out the rice onto sieves, letting all the hot water drain out and let the rice rest in the sieves. Next, take a large skillet, turn on to medium-high heat and add in 1 cup of vegetable oil. When the oil is hot enough that it's shimmering, add in 2 large yellow onions that have been cut into long slices, like this, and fry the onions until they are caramelized. When the onions are nicely browned, turn off the heat and strain the onions out over a heat-proof container. Set the onions aside to cool while collecting the oil the onions were frying in. Mince 2 bunches of cilantro and set it aside. Do the same thing with 2 bunches of mint leaves, except separate about 3 tablespoons of mint leaves from the rest of it. The 3 tablespoons of minced mint will be for making the raita, and the rest of the mint is for the biryani. Next, either by hand or using a lemon squeezer, squeeze the juice from 1 lemon into a small bowl. Then, into a separate small non-reactive bowl, squeeze the juice of 2 lemons into it. In the second bowl with the juice from 2 lemons, Add in 1 teaspoon of saffron and 1 pinch of orange food coloring powder. Mix this a bit and set this aside.
Now that we have all the different components of the biryani prepared, we're ready to assemble the layers. Take a large pot with a heavy, tight-fitting lid. Today we're using our Dutch oven or casserole dish as some people call it, but any large pot will work as long as it can hold a minimum of 5.5 to 6 quarts and has a solid lid with no vent holes on it. Place all of the marinated chicken in an even layer so that it covers the bottom of the pot. Spread half of the fried onions on top of the chicken. Then sprinkle in 2 teaspoons of meat masala powder, half of the minced cilantro, half of the minced mint leaves, the prepared juice from 1 lemon, and half of the remaining oil from frying the onions. Next, place all of the half-cooked rice on top as the next layer. Then, like before, spread the remaining half of the fried onions, sprinkle in 2 teaspoons of meat masala powder, the remaining half of the minced cilantro, remaining half of the minced mint leaves, and remaining half of oil the onions were fried in. Finally, drizzle the lemon juice mixed with saffron and orange food coloring. When you finish creating the layers of biryani, place about 3 layers of paper towels over the rim of the pot and cover with a solid, tight-fitting lid. You can also use an absorbent cloth instead of paper towels if you don't mind your cloth potentially getting stained orange and forever smelling like biryani. Either way, the cloth or paper towels will absorb the excess moisture as the biryani cooks so that the meat doesn't get soupy at the bottom. If you don't have a heavy lid, you can also weigh it down using a heavy object like a mortar from your mortar and pestle, inverted and placed on top. Now, when your pot is all ready to cook, turn on the flame to the highest heat possible and let it cook for 5 minutes. Then turn it down to medium heat and continue cooking for another 5 minutes. Then turn it down to the lowest heat possible and let it cook for 5 minutes more. Finally, turn off the flame completely and let it finish cooking in its own steam for another 30 minutes. When the flame is off and we're waiting for the biryani to finish cooking in its own steam, we can work on making Raita, which is a condiment served with biryani. Take a mixing bowl, add in 3 cups of yogurt, 1 large cucumber diced, 1 tomato diced, the 3 tablespoons of minced mint leaves that were set aside earlier, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of ground cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Mix this together till it's well combined. And store it in the fridge till you're ready to serve it. When the biryani has finished cooking, uncover the lid and paper towels. That smells so good. Using a long spoon, take out one of the pieces of chicken to make sure it's fully cooked. A thermometer should read a minimum of 165 degrees Fahrenheit when inserted in the thickest part. And there it is, Hyderabadi Chicken Biryani served with Raita. Ang sarap!
Ang sarap! Yum!
Wow, that taste always brings me back to Hyderabad.
And it's such a wonderful mixture of flavors from all the spices.
Thank you all so much for watching. Please let us know in the comment section below if you're planning to make this Hyderabadi chicken biryani. Send us pictures of your creations on Facebook and Instagram. The links are below. And if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Cooking with Kurt.
And don't forget to click on the bell so you get notified when we post new cooking videos.
Maraming salamat!